In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on April 29, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Milwaukee Bucks versus Indiana Pacers. On Tuesday, the 5th-seeded Milwaukee Bucks are heading to Indiana to take on the 4th-seeded Pacers in the opening round of the NBA playoffs. These two teams have seen a lot of each other lately, and Indiana currently holds a 3-1 series lead after taking games 1, 2, and 4. They also squared off 4 times during the regular season, and Milwaukee came out on top in 3 of those meetings, covering the spread every time. Over their last 10 matchups in total, the straight-up record is dead even at 5-5. But Milwaukee has been better against the spread, holding a 6-4 edge. In terms of scoring, the over has cashed in 6 of those 10 games. Milwaukee's going to be in a rough spot for this one, with Damian Lillard officially ruled out for the season due to a torn Achilles. On the other side, the Pacers are monitoring Bennedict Mathurin's status. He's questionable for this game. In Game 4, the Bucks looked lifeless and lacked any sense of urgency, and it's pretty clear they just can't keep up with Indiana right now. The Pacers have dictated the tempo and used their depth to wear Milwaukee down. Defensively, the Bucks haven't shown up, and Indiana has been slicing them up with crisp ball movement and quality shot selection all game long. Milwaukee was banking on Lillard being the spark that could carry them through this series, but his injury seems to have completely deflated the team. Even if Indiana comes into this one a little too relaxed after such an easy win in Game 4, it's hard to imagine the Bucks having the firepower to take advantage. Giannis Antetokounmpo has been doing everything he can to keep the Bucks afloat, but he's getting little to no support from the rest of the squad. This is a team that has clearly been outplayed in 3 of the 4 games so far, and now they've lost one of their best weapons. The betting trends lean in Indiana's favor too. The favorite has covered 7 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams. Milwaukee just can't stop the Pacers' offense, and that's why Indiana has gone over 120 points in 2 of the last 3 matchups. Giannis is dominating individually, but there's not enough around him to make it count. With just one more win, Indiana can punch their ticket to the second round, and I don't see them missing that opportunity, especially not with their home crowd behind them. Milwaukee is too depleted and lacks the scoring options to go toe-to-toe at this point. Indiana should be able to close this one out without too much trouble, and it could get lopsided fast. As our first pick for this matchup, the Indiana Pacers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Despite Milwaukee only putting up 103 points, Game 4 still managed to hit the over, which says a lot about how easily Indiana has been scoring. The Pacers have taken full advantage of Milwaukee's soft perimeter defense, finding open shots and knocking them down with ease throughout the series. The Bucks have been giving up a ton of threes and uncontested looks, and with how well-balanced Indiana's offense has been, it's a safe bet they'll break the 120-point mark again. This could be Milwaukee's final game of the season, and while I don't expect them to pull off the upset, they probably won't go down without showing at least some fight. Look for them to shake things up with the lineup in hopes of sparking something off the bench. They did shoot well from 3 in the last outing, which could help keep it close for a bit. Meanwhile, Indiana will keep pushing the pace and getting quality shots. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Detroit Pistons versus New York Knicks. The NBA regular season and play-in tournament are now behind us, and all eyes are on the playoffs. The 6th-seeded Detroit Pistons are heading back to New York City to square off with the 3rd-seeded New York Knicks in Game 5 of their best-of-7 showdown, set for Tuesday night. With the stakes rising and the series heating up, it's do-or-die time for Detroit as they face a must-win game at Madison Square Garden. The series kicked off last Saturday night in New York, where the Knicks pulled away in the 4th quarter to claim a 123-112 win on their home floor, covering the spread as 7-point favorites. Detroit bounced back in Game 2 on Monday, grinding out a 100-94 win and cashing in as a 6.5-point underdog. Game 3 shifted the action to Detroit, where the Knicks snatched a narrow 118-106 116 victory as 1.5-point favorites. Game 4 brought even more drama. New York escaped with a controversial 94-93 win on Sunday, once again covering as a 2.5-point underdog. In postseason matchups, the Knicks have now taken 2 out of 3 series against the Pistons and hold a slim 10-9 edge in overall playoff wins between the two franchises. Detroit is still without Jaden Ivey, and Isaiah Stewart remains questionable ahead of Game 5. The Knicks, on the other hand, are heading into this critical matchup with a full and healthy lineup. Through 4 games, this series has arguably been the most gripping and intense of the playoffs, and Game 4 was no exception. New York mounted a wild fourth-quarter rally to steal a 1-point win. With the Pistons now down 3-1 and returning to the chaos of MSG, the pressure is heavy on this young squad. Detroit has struggled down the stretch of each game, and their inexperience, particularly in the fourth quarter, has been on full display. Heading into Tuesday, Detroit looks short on adjustments, while New York has a clearer roadmap. Push the tempo, disrupt Detroit's offense, and lean harder on Karl Anthony Towns. The Pistons have yet to figure out how to slow down Jalen Brunson, and with likely better shooting performances from Og Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, the Knicks are in a good spot. On the flip side, Cade Cunningham has been hot and cold, struggling to stay consistent against Anunoby and the rest of New York's perimeter defense. It's tough to trust Detroit's offense in this spot. New York has more reliable options and the defensive edge to go with it. As I pointed out back when the series began, playoff games are often won by the team that also covers the spread. Over the last 5 years, straight-up winners in the postseason have also covered in nearly 90% of cases, so I'm sticking with that trend. The Knicks are in a strong position to finish things off at home and cover the number as favorites. As our first pick for this matchup, the New York Knicks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. In Game 1, the scoring ran wild, with both teams combining for 235 points and easily clearing the posted total. But Game 2 was a different story entirely, just 194 points between the two teams, well below the 221.5-point line. Game 3 flipped back to a high-scoring affair, finishing with 234 points, beating the 216 total. Then came Game 4, which turned into a gritty, low-scoring battle with just 187 points scored, once again landing well under the number. It's been tough to pin down how these games will play out night to night, but considering Detroit is now playing with nothing to lose, they'll likely come out aggressive and play with more urgency. That tempo should force the Knicks to pick up the pace, which could push this game over the total. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Orlando Magic versus Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics pulled away late and came out on top in Game 4, giving them a solid 3-1 series advantage over the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic didn't go down easy in Game 4 against the Celtics. Heading into the final quarter, they were trailing by just 4 points, but eventually ended up losing by 9. Still, their effort and fight throughout the game show that they're not going to roll over, especially with Game 5 coming up on the road. Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner have been rock solid in every game, combining for an impressive average of 58 points per outing. The Celtics haven't figured out a way to stop them from getting into the paint, and there's no sign that will change in the next game. If the rest of the team can step up and make some plays, they've got a real shot in what's likely to be another low-scoring, defensive grind of a game. The Magic have been doing a great job keeping the Celtics quiet from beyond the arc. So far, Boston hasn't made more than 10 threes in any game this series. In Game 4, they hit just 29% of their shots from deep. If that trend continues, it's going to be tough for Boston to crack 100 points. That puts the pressure on Orlando to just hit 90 or more, especially with the 11.5 points they're getting. The Magic showed more urgency in Game 4 when it came to pushing the pace, and they've now scored at least 90 points in every game except the first one. Don't be surprised if they finally break the 100-point mark this time around. As our first pick for this matchup, the Orlando Magic to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Boston's shooting from deep has been rough throughout the series, but they've got a golden chance to wrap things up and get some extra rest before the next round. The Celtics are dealing with a lot of injuries and probably have the Knicks waiting for them, so every extra day off counts. Jason Tatum has been a nightmare for Orlando since getting back into the lineup, and it's hard to imagine the team continues to miss that many threes. Banchero and Wagner are doing everything they can to keep the Magic alive, and with their season on the line, they'll be even more aggressive. This series has mostly been slow and grinded out, but with everything at stake in Game 5, it wouldn't be surprising to see both teams open it up a bit and put up a lot more points. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Los Angeles Clippers versus Denver Nuggets. The NBA is serving up a Western Conference first-round matchup between the number 5 seed Los Angeles Clippers and the number 4 seed Denver Nuggets this Tuesday. The series is locked at 2 games apiece, and it's interesting to note that their regular season meetings were just as close, ending in a 2-2 split as well. Both teams have been trading blows, and it's felt like neither has truly grabbed control yet. Game 4's third quarter was the most dominant stretch we've seen from the Nuggets in the series so far. Now that they're back in their own building, I think we're finally going to see them put together a full 48 minutes of focused, aggressive basketball in Game 5. Despite their reputation as a top-tier offense, ranking among the league's best in scoring and field goal percentage, they haven't quite hit that gear yet. The Clippers' defense showed some cracks last game, and Nikola Jokic was able to capitalize in a big way, dropping a series-best 36 points. That kind of performance signals a shift. The Nuggets survived Game 4, and now they're in a position to seize momentum with their most commanding win of the series so far. As our first pick for this matchup, the Denver Nuggets to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. We've seen the projected total tick down again for this series. It started at 222.5, then moved to 212.5, and now it's sitting at 208.5. Even though Denver hasn't strung together a full game of strong offense yet, this feels like the right moment for that to finally happen. The Clippers are coming off a rough loss in Game 4, and it wouldn't be surprising if they show up flat in stretches. Jamal Murray is due for a bounce-back game at home, and this could be the spot. On the other side, James Harden should also step up after a quiet 15-point outing last time out. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.